and welcome to Wizard World Virtual Experiences. I'm Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics. We are streaming to you live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, bringing you that Comic-Con live to the comfort of your home with these free, that's right, free celebrity panels, in addition to paid exclusive experiences, including one-on-one private video chats, some happening immediately after this panel, so jump right in. You get some custom recorded messages, autographs, all on sale at wizardworldvirtual.com. They're always on sale at Wizard World Virtual. So if you continue to watch throughout the week, I mean, obviously the chats and stuff are going to be gone. But if you're watching a replay, definitely check out these once-in-a-lifetime experiences with your favorite cast members. Also, don't forget to check out the signed memorabilia, works of art from our favorite artists and vendors from previous virtual experiences and physical conventions at wizardworldvault.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to bring to this virtual stage from Sons of Anarchy, the guys that run Sam Crow, ladies and gents. Let's start off with Mark Boone Jr. Yo, hello,
Victor, and hello the world, I guess.
Next up, we have Kim Coates. What's up?
Where am I?
Yeah,
there I am.
There he is.
I found it, Victor. I
love it. Next, we've got Theo Rossi. What's up?
Yo.
There he is. And rounding this out last but certainly not least, we have Mr. Ryan Hurst. Oh, what's up?
Oh.
Yo, there it is. Guys, we've got people all over the world tuning in right now. I got to run this through. Hungary, Canada, Brazil, England, Tennessee, Massachusetts, Jersey, Italy, Portugal, South Africa, France. Everyone is tuned in to say hello to you guys. I'm going to start off with the most important question of all time. How has 2020 been for you guys? This has got to be the craziest year ever, right? Is it just me? You can tell me.
First of all, I just want to say I didn't know Tennessee was a country. That's amazing.
It counts.
It is.
No,
that's
Tennessee
amazing.
is country.
Tennessee, welcome. Another country.
They seceded.
Yeah.
Seceded.
No, Tennessee is country. That's where my people's is from. So I got love for Tennessee.
There you go.
So yeah, how is 2020 treating you guys?
Go for it.
That's the greatest face.
I mean, I had the baby. That's my world.
Congratulations on that one. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've been very lucky that way. I mean, just in general, but in specifically that this year. So, I mean, of course, she's not getting the exposure she should get like all the other people, but she's great. And
she's a beauty too. I can't wait to meet her in person. I've been hiding out in Canada since mid-March, since this whole crazy year has been taken off for the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I'm pretty grateful to be in Canada, my home country. I'm American too, proud. But hey, man, I'm hanging out. I'm doing a little bit of filming here and there, and not seeing too many people, and just staying safe.
I dig that. Totally dig that.
Jump in there, Theo.
Oh, yeah, all good. Fortunate that we're all healthy and safe. It's been a year. It's been all over. It's covered every gamut of emotion that you can cover. I mean, amazing to be with my children. I just road tripped. We got into LA yesterday with the kids and my wife and my buddy Mona. And, we're working out here. And at the same time, we lost a few people to the virus. We lost, we know a lot of people that have been, this has really, hit a lot of people hard, but it's just been, I mean, it's crazy. It's been 10 months. I mean, almost 10 months, right? Like 10 months. Right. And, while there's been a tremendous amount of really horrific things that have occurred, I mean, I try to always see the silver lining and stuff. And the fact that I've been, able to have this relationship and be with my wife and my kids and the people that are close to me in my life. It's been amazing.
Of course. Absolutely. Ryan, what about you, sir?
Yeah, I'm one of those people who's really sort of tried to, has this whole 2020 COVID situation is really, I'm one of those people who's taken this as an opportunity to sort of reset, refocus, and slow down.
Right.
So I just sort of stay in that space and try to use it as best as I can.
Oh, that's the smart way to do it, man. And I think that's very, very important to hear, from you guys' angle. So many of us are thinking that we're the little people, but to see that simpatico with you, people that we look up to, stars that we love, that you're in the same boat, that's got to, create, this great energy for the fans. Speaking of fans, we've got somebody here that's a special guest that's going to come in and talk to you guys. Shout out to Candace. Hello.
Candace.
Whoa,
Oh,
Candace. Oh my goodness gracious.
Candace.
There
Candace
she
is the
is.
best.
Hey, Candace.
Hi guys.
Wow.
Thank you.
Candace
Thank
is
you.
the
greatest.
You made the cut, girl. You made
Candace
it.
is
You're in
on.
the front of the wagon.
That's
Wow.
right.
Yeah, Victor, you could leave. Candace.
Yeah, listen, I felt that whole energy, bro. I felt that.
Yeah, Victor, no worries.
You got it. Amazing. Great to
I
see
understand
you.
you got some questions for the guys, Candace. Is
So
that right?
I've got a couple of questions, but I got a really good question for the
Okay.
guy. So, one of the greatest things about Sons of Anarchy, I think, is the music. From Bob Field's brilliance as the music director to all the people that contribute music to the show. Ed Sheeran, Katie Seagal, Joshua James, White Buffalo, Audra May, Norm Gunderson, Billy Valentine, all those people deliver amazing contributions of music to the show. My question is for each one of you, what is your favorite SOA song and or musical montage?
Oh.
And I'll start with Theo.
I'll go.
What you got?
I might get there's 3 songs in particular that I still listen to all the time. I believe it's The Lost Son, the Opie Death Scene song. I believe is potentially Greg Holden, I believe did it, is the best song that's ever been in the show. The cover of The Girl from North Country by The Lion is an amazing, by The Lions, I think it is. And then the Audra May song is amazing. We went to see her play and I introduced them at a show in LA and I was kind of blown away by it live. And it's always been a little cool song for Megan and I. So those are the 3 that really, really stood out for me. But really the even my kids, like the Opie song is that Lost Son is it's just an amazing song for anybody.
Beautiful song.
It's a beautiful song. Yeah. So those are my 3. And maybe I only needed 1, but that's 3. Sorry.
Listen, he just challenged all 3 of the rest of you because he
No. I'll go next. I mean,
bring it on, Ken. What you got?
There is only one song, and it's a song that I recorded with DL, and it was called The Jelly Bean, and it never made the show. It never made the show. And DL and I were obviously very, very upset.
Yeah.
He was playing the banjo. I had the harmonica. He can't sing worth a lick, but I gave it my best shot. I was in West Side Story as a young boy. Dear kindly Sergeant Krupke, you gotta understand, it's just a growing up key. So you understand I can fucking sing. So for me,
right.
That song never made it to the final print, and I'm very upset about it. But Bob, he was the best.
That's brilliant.
There you go.
I mean, that's an answer right there.
That's some knowledge too. It's a deleted scene.
And Ryan, and then we'll save the singer for last.
That Greg Holden song is pretty strong. That was that's one of those things that you hear and you just start crying. But it's, but I'm still gonna have to put my money on, like in season 1 when Mark Boone Jr. was up there singing some Elvis songs. Because anytime that I get to hear Mark Boone Jr. sing, I'm putting my money down on that.
Wait, which one you talking? Havana Gia?
That was great.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good, Boney. Very good.
Yeah, that's it. And what else did I sing? I don't know. Elvis didn't really get to sing that much. I don't remember anything. I'm past that age where anything. I can't remember anything. So.
Correct.
That's terrible.
I know I did House of the Rising Sun, but of course, I didn't sing anything. Everybody else sang things. I mean, I don't know who they hired to sing what I sang, but I didn't sing.
That wasn't you? Are you serious?
It's one of those sore points of Sons of Anarchy for me.
I got
to sing live in person, and you're fantastic.
I have a video on my phone from season 1 that it was between shots. I just hit video and I clicked it onto you. I think I've sent this to you, Boone. And it was just you, and we were in like a hallway, so it had this nice sort of reverberation, sort of resonance to it. And it was just you very, very intimately singing Love Me Tender. Do you have
Yeah,
that?
I remember that. You showed that to me.
Yeah. And I was like, and it was, and I just sort of kept backing away from you, and you sang the whole song, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Okay, Love Me Tender. Yeah, I like that song a lot,
It's a good
actually.
one.
No, I'm Boone, you remember this when you, me, and Theo went to Australia and we did that little Beatles tour for 7 days. We always started with you and the guitar singing, and fucking Theo and I just walked off the stage and let you go. It was, it was like,
it was amazing. It was amazing.
Let him stay out. Let him just stay out there. I mean,
That's awesome.
Not to bring up a sore point. Did you not sing? So what you? This is so weird because I'm watching the show for the first time. You didn't sing the Elvis stuff in the first season.
No, Sutter paid somebody like $8,000.
That wasn't your voice,
right? I could have sworn that was you.
Even like Katie, after I did that, she was when we did that scene, that opening scene where in the first episode we did that. Katie was standing outside my trailer after, because I sang to the thing, but they didn't record it. So she heard the whole thing, and she was like, "Oh my God, Boone! Oh my God!" I was like, "What?"
I was after Australia, after everything, I was under the impression that you actually sang those songs. This is a giant newsflash to me. Wow. Okay.
That is amazing.
That's a mistake because I've heard him sing live, and they definitely should have.
Yeah.
All right, let's move off this sore point.
Well, yeah. I do have to acknowledge Lady Nightshade 1334 said Katie's cover of Son of a Preacher Man was one of their favorites. So should have included you, of course. Candace, this was awesome. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you, Candace.
That's Candace Kelly.
Alex, yes. Review podcast Tuesday night.
Yeah, baby.
Boom.
That's the way, my Alex.
We love you, Candace.
Love you. Bye, guys.
Oh my God, that's so brilliant. That's so brilliant. Okay, so here's a real question. Is Sons one of your most recognizable roles? Is this the thing that so many people just automatically know you from? You guys have had some incredibly iconic roles in your career, but how does Sons rate in everything? Mark, let's start with you.
Me? Of course. I mean, television is the medium where everybody thinks you're their best friend. You enter their house
right
in such a way, and now everybody, you see everything at home anyway, particularly over the last 10 months it is, but but the weekly thing is it's people are they're batshit crazy over this show. I mean,
they are, but it's worthy though.
Can I jump in there with one of my favorite stories? Is Boone and I were at breakfast one day, and this guy runs up to Boone, and while we're sitting there eating, and goes, "Holy shit, you're Mark Boone Jr. You're that guy from Sons of Anarchy." And Boone just kind of eating, looking at him, and the guy stands there, and there's this long, awkward pause, and Boone's just eating, and he looks at the guy, and the guy's just kind of hyperventilating, and then Boone just goes, "Well, what the fuck do we do now?"
And in that moment, he was Bobby. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
The most Bobbiest moment of all time. I love that.
That's one of my favorite things to do is when somebody runs up and says "Oh my God, what do I know you from?" And I kind of go,
"High school."
Why don't you go first? Because I don't know who you are either.
How do I pick this? How do I pick? What's the weirdest thing anyone's ever thrown at you? Has anyone really got it completely wrong?
Well, I'll just say that I learned a lesson, man.
Okay.
When Sons started to slowly percolate and take off, I've always been known for my movies. And so Sons was starting to change, like Booney said, where all of a sudden in everyone's bedroom, living room, it's a wacky life to be a regular on television, especially a successful show like this. And I'm in a grocery store and I'm standing in line and this guy's in front of me and of course it's pre-COVID, so it's a long time ago. So he's right in front of me.
Right.
And he keeps turning around looking at me and I go, okay, here we go. And he goes, "Hey man, I know you. I know you." And I go, "Cool." And he goes, no, man, but I know you. And I go, well, I don't know how to help you. Did we go to school together? He goes, nah, that's not it. And I go, and then I figured, oh, fuck it. I went, I'm an actor. He goes, no, you're not. No, you're not. That's not it. That's not. And I realized by telling the truth, and he goes, no, that's not it. You're not a fucking actor. I've never done that again, ever in my life. If you can't figure out who this nose is, too bad. We're done.
Now, see, I would have said like, oh my God, I loved you in Bad Boys. Like that's like the first place that I know that I saw you, Kim. Like
it was a long time ago. Yeah,
man. Not that long. Don't make it sound like you're old. That's not. Don't do that. Don't.
No,
do that.
You're not old. But you were in Bad Boys, Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll have to watch that one again.
He kicks it off.
It's right off the beginning. It's me, Will, and Lawrence. Right off the very first scene. They had to reshoot it. Michael Bay asked me. I went in.
Oh.
Yeah. It's funny.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Theo, what about you? You've got quite a few roles.
I just know that people, I could always tell because people are so incredibly disappointed that I have hair. Like they're so disappointed. It's the first thing they say.
I know I am.
Yeah. Like they see me and they're like, oh, you have hair. And I'm like,
you're like,
yeah,
yes?
what's going on? Of course I do. Yeah. They're like, oh, the tattoos aren't real. I'm like, yeah. They're just like so disappointed. And I'm like, I don't want to. And then like we're in this weird somber place where I'm like, yeah, so what's up? And they're just like, so.
Yeah, I'm Theo. I'm not Juice. That's not really who I am at all.
Just so, and they have seen the other stuff. They're just so disappointed that the tattoos aren't real. And it's a really strange thing. It's such a strange thing to be disappointed about. But I guess true. I don't know. But you know what it is? What?
Looking at you and
that's what they do.
And recognizing you and then being disappointed.
That's exactly what happened. Like they come up with full excitement, and then as they get close, if I have a hat on, because usually if I get uncomfortable, I like take my hat off and start running my hands through my hair. So I'm just like doing this, and they go, oh, they're not real, and then they almost like walk away. Like it's like
the balloon is big deflated.
Yeah. The whole thing was a fail. Like their whole life was a
You're
lie.
not supposed to take the mascot head off, man. You did that. It's so terrible. No. It's so terrible.
But you know what it is? I'll say quick. I think what it is, and Opie, with Walking Dead is like truly like the last with Ryan with Walking Dead. It's like what shows are there that you basically live with people for 7, 8 years. They wait 6 months. So you're living in their life. You live with them. You're with them all the time. And then you're doing like the magazines between the shows and the talk show or whatever it is. And then when the 6 months are off, they're just waiting. That's gone. So there isn't that like Boone started this with where they feel like they know you, that you're literally part of their family. That's gone now because we binged through something. It's over in 2 to 3 seasons, even if it's a great show. And you don't really remember it because you didn't, it's like reading a book as opposed to listening to a book. So I think that, Walking Dead is truly the last of that, where you've been with these people for however many years it's been. And I think we were probably one of the last to do that.
Oh, and come on. SVU or, they're
right. Yeah.
Freaking years of that, and it's still going. Or no, this is the last season of that.
Right. But are there people that have like, that would be a curious question for me, is like one of those shows where like you've watched every single episode of SVU from the beginning, like 15 seasons, know what like the characters were wearing, know the lines they said in like season 2, because there are fans, for all of us that literally remember what Bobby Elvis was doing in this episode and what Opie was doing in this. They know everything. So I just think that it's just a different thing than those, I would guess, than those shows. Because those are more like they eat dinner while they're watching them. Where this was like you're glued to the screen. You don't want to miss it.
They existed for the show. Like they just live with it. And it actually kind of goes into a point that Perry Sound Life made. At what point in filming did you each take the character home with you? What did you like really become your individual characters, if you can?
I don't.
Jim?
I don't know that. Oh. I mean, one of the fun parts about developing a character where you get to do it over multiple seasons is what happens is the creator and the writer and the showrunner kind of comes up with an idea for the character, and then they sort of put it down, and then the actor starts to do something, and inevitably what happens is that like as more sort of writers see what you're doing, is that the character starts to sort of bend towards the performance. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's sort of like, regardless of whatever the writer puts down, is that, you know, how the actor performs it, and the sort of charisma, and, you know, that each sort of character the actor is bringing, the character sort of lends itself to bending towards the person who's playing it. So it's not so much like all of a sudden I woke up one day and I was just like, oh my God, I am Opie now. You know, it was just kind of like, oh, well, I see that, you know, I see that Mark is doing this. I see that Theo is doing this. I see that Kim has a proclivity to do this, you know, and then everything sort of starts to, you know, around like season 2, the end of season 2, you know, things start to gel in a way where, you know, the creator, the writer, and the actors, you know, and the character all sort of find this really sort of flow state.
Right.
I just know that in the 6th season, I was living with a woman for almost the whole season, all the whole series. We got together in the first season and lived together for those years. And, you know, I came home and it was like in the middle or later part of the 6th season. And, you know, you barely have time to do anything. You got your lines, you got you're in the middle of the season, you're just dead tired. And, you know, I think it was some awful day, you know, of like killing or something. And I came and sat on the couch where I usually sat every day after a day of work, and just like tried to get some kind of semblance of life back into me. Right. And she was like, you know who this is, you people.
You bet I do.
You know, you're such an asshole. You know that?
Oh my God.
And, you know, and it's like, you know, we all were, you know, not good people, really, in a way. We were good, but we weren't good when we went, you know, and it just seeped in. Yeah, you know.
It kind of becomes you. Yeah.
It just seeped in, and it was hard to throw it off, particularly, you know, after 6 seasons.
Of course. Yeah, that's Eric S. was asking about that. Like, was it hard to turn that off, even in your everyday life? I mean, obviously you're living this role. To even go home is not necessarily a checkout of that mindset and that place, especially if you know you have to turn it right back on. Kim, what about you? Is that something that you struggle with at all?
For me, getting so close to the rest of the guys, like we all did, to get so close to, say, Ryan, and to know what Tig was responsible for with Donna. And then, as Ryan already alluded to, season 2, things started to really explode on that show, like really explode. And there was a lot of emotions going on for me. And I always had no problem getting on my motorcycle at the end of every day and going home. I mean, that was all right. But season 5, when my daughter was burned in front of me, and Pope was there, and Kurt warned me about it a month beforehand, and I've got 2 daughters in real life. You know, that was just really hard to do, man. It was just really hard to do, and give yourself to the character, and whether I brought it home or not, I didn't want. I stayed in a hotel room downtown LA where we were filming for 2 nights, just so I didn't come home. And I lost my voice anyway. But the reward was when, you know, Boone and Tommy and Charlie rolled up on their bikes to see me as a broken man with his daughter in front of him. Rachel Miner, who played my daughter, Dawn, amazing. So, and to see the tears in their eyes helped me selfishly when I went home that night, to know that we were all in this together. All the emotions, whether we brought it home or not, we were all in it together, for sure.
That's well said. And I want to say, as a guy in this world where it's supposed to be so strong and unaffected, I appreciate the emotional outlet that you guys reveal, that even as tough men, as vigilantes as you might have been, you knew when to feel things, and it was okay to feel things. I think that gives a lot of credence that in a lot of ways is why Sons is so emotionally impactful for all the viewers. Is there a moment that you know is the one where you're like, this is the peak emotional moment for me? This is the one where I don't know if I could dig any deeper to be in this scene, in this moment.
Well,
that's a big question.
I don't know. I mean, the scene that most expressed itself was, for me, was when Charlie and I were talking about killing Clay.
Right.
Yeah.
And that scene was really badly edited. But I mean, as far as what was done on the the day, it was a very serious moment that Charlie and I played that day. And I think that there were certain things that Sutter didn't want on the screen, certain things that he didn't want, and that the emotion was one of them in that regard. And I thought that was unfortunate, but anyway, that was the most.
Oh, and Boone, you bring up a good point, and the fans probably don't know this, but every time, and we got 92 of these scripts or whatever it was. In the end, we would get these scripts, and I would always go, "How is this all going to be in the movie? How is this all going to be in the show?" There's no way that they're going to edit 42 minutes of what was written. So a lot of stuff was changed or shortened or cut, and it was sometimes just a heartbreaker, really, to be perfectly honest with you.
That in there, that's gotta be tough. We actually got a question from Brina Sam Crow off of Twitter for Kim. Says still doing the 5th rewatch of Sons, which is incredible. I notice every time the club takes a tough decision about Clay, you say yes, but in your heart you can tell that you don't really mean it. They want to know, are they wrong, or did Tick still love and care for Clay even after all the things that Clay had ever done?
I have no fucking idea. I don't have a fucking clue. No.
Wow.
Listen, that show has been over for so long, and I can say one thing to that question. It's a great question, and this I played it as honestly as I could at the moment. You'd have to give me some specifics to really know how to answer that question.
Right.
No,
that's fair.
Playing against the writing was a big thing that I was confronted with all the time.
Okay.
Because there were things that Bobby was told he had to do, which I didn't agree with at all, me personally, at all. So playing against the writing, I had to do that,
even though that's not you. I get that. Ryan, what about you, man?
But again, like to that, I mean, whenever you're sort of creatively making something, I mean, there's always going to be some sort of rough patch where you're going to go up against the creatives in a certain way. But the beautiful part about it, that I still think is like ridiculously unique, is like when you have a super successful show, you got a bunch of guys, you got egos flying around. That all of us, there was never any actory sort of bullshit.
No, never.
Like, there was never like, oh, I gotta go home. Can you act?
Never.
It's like that was like never a part of the question. Everybody showed up for everybody else. Like there was never a time where I was just kind of like, oh well, I guess I'm doing this scene by myself, because you got better things to do. So that was always a really nice security blanket to know that like we were all sort of journeymen of this craft, and we were doing our thing, and that we were looking.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Theo, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think Ryan says it perfect. I mean, the one thing that we can always rely on is each other. I think, honestly, looking back now and, not really, maybe, hindsight's always 20/20. I mean, that show fucked me up. Like the truth, it did, just like not just as a person, but as an actor. Like I almost had to like recover for a moment, because I went right into another show. And I felt like, as someone who rescues dogs, and everybody on this, call could understand this, it was almost like I was like a shelter dog after that. Like I was like, everything was like, what would you say? No, I'm not doing. And it was like, hold on. And the reason is because there was so much chaos outside of us. You have to understand that we were shooting these episodes very fast.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot going on. There was a lot of people. There was so much, there was tension, there was this, that, but inside of us, what Ryan just said was all good, barring a few little small instances here and there, but we always had each other's back. Right. And I got to be honest, I think if we didn't, I don't think it would have been the iconic show that it was. I think that was the one thing that always read, was that regardless of how everybody was feeling, regardless of anything that was going on outside of this bubble that we had created, we were there for each other no
Mhm.
matter what. And that is something that I know we've all experienced not happening. So that is something that was so important to me because there was so much other chaos, true chaos. I mean, armed guards and this and like it was just nuts for a little
Right.
while, especially after season 4 and up. And I think that it changed a lot for a lot of us. And I know that now we can look back, and because everything is so different in this industry, it's night and day. I mean, to
Right.
look back at that time, it was, to me, I look back at it really fondly now. And I know that, a lot of people have, they call it like retromania. You kind of go back to something that seemed a little more innocent. It was kind of right before cell phones really came crazy like this, when people were
Right.
still switching before smartphones. But I just think that the one thing that I really look back at now and I really enjoy is the relationship we all had. While
Yeah.
family is never perfect, it was truly amazing because I have so much deep love for every single person because each one of us has like a unique thing with
Right.
each other. And that's something that I've never found on anything else that I've done.
That's amazing.
At that scope. You might find one or two people you like, but not the scope we had.
Right. No, that's beautiful.
It had to. We had to
We had to.
be that way, or it wouldn't have, because of, like you said, the way we shot it and the chaos that
Yep.
the particularly coming from above.
Yep.
There was such craziness outside of us,
Right.
and it,
Yep.
it really had to be that way. And there was a lot of work that went into keeping it that way.
It was almost like a it's almost like a survival tool. Like we
Right.
had to be like that. And we needed to. And that, again, I want to make sure that everybody knows it doesn't mean that it was always perfect.
Right.
There were definitely, things within, but it means that at the end of the day, we needed to be with each other. We needed to be there for each other. We needed to
Right.
love on each other because there were times where people were going to go under. I know I can name 5 instances on my own. I don't know about everybody else, but there were things that was like everybody needed to be a voice of reason for someone else at one point.
Right.
And that is something that you just don't see. And I think one day somebody will realize, I don't know if it's like this on other shows. I only know because I've only been a regular on, 2 shows, the one after this and, and whatever's coming the next one. But it's like, it was chaotic.
Wow.
It was chaotic.
But you guys kept each other afloat, which is the best part of your whole relationship. I'm gonna switch the gears a little bit. We're gonna play a little what if. Peachy Key brought up if you all survived alongside Tig, what would have been everyone's first move after what happens to Jax in the final episode? Is it even possible to think of that? Like, would we have even gotten to that finale part if everyone was still there?
I'm marrying Venus and we're having kids. That's it. We're just gonna coach. I'm gonna coach a little softball team. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Put some skates on. Tig turns into a hockey player. I'm not sure.
No,
I'm with that, actually.
I would have been the president of the club if I
Definitely.
Right.
Clearly,
Definitely.
that's a definite. I mean, whatever.
Boone, that's a great answer.
There we go. Okay, so here we'll make this a little bit more playful because she added a little add-on. Your character gets a spin-off show, but it's named after the last song that you listened to. What's your show called?
Shit.
That you
It's
listen
a
to
terrible song name.
in the show.
No. Just in general, in
real
real
life.
life. What's the last song you listened to? Because that's the name of your character's spin-off show.
Riders in the Storm. I just listened to it an hour ago. There
That's
you go.
kind of perfect.
Yeah,
The Doors, man. Wow. How about that?
I love that.
Mine was Waylon Jennings.
Self-play a
Yeah.
song.
Oh, come on, give it to us.
Can't get around the man in me. Can't step past the woman, the mother in you. Could there be a poison running in the veins?
Yeah, baby.
I love it.
Yeah, Boone.
That's what I'm talking about.
Perfect for Boone.
That's all of our show songs right now. That's perfect. Oh my God, that's so brilliant. Okay, so I've got a question that is for Ryan, and this is going to be absolutely embarrassing to my friend April who's watching. She wanted to ask this question, but she's totally scared to chime in here. Number one, loved you and Charlie the most on Sons. Sorry, guys, I didn't say this. This is her. She said this. Because I've never felt emotional.
She's drunk.
She's completely hammered.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I've never felt emotional while watching you act like I did with anything else. When Donna and Tara died and I saw yours and Charlie's reactions, I actually sobbed, not cried, sobbed and felt my heart and my throat. You two had such an amazing bond on the show. And I was wondering if that carried on off the set. And that's kind of what you guys were talking about. But to be specific with you and Charlie.
Yeah. I mean, I text with Charlie, twice a week. I mean, it was really strange. Is for whatever reason, Charlie reminds me of one of my younger brothers. Like, there's just something about his aura and like the way that he talks, and I don't know, all his mannerisms, that he reminds me of my brother Chapin. And so like when I first met him, I was just kind of like, I just vibed with him really, really close. And the same thing happened with Boone. I remember when I first met Boone, we walked up to each other and just stared at each other. And Boone went, "Yeah," and I went, "Uh-huh." And he goes,
The first reading we had, you were reading some fucking book. I was sitting on the step of your thing, like, I'm an intellectual, don't like books. And then I stopped. I go, yeah. And goes,
that's a lot of conversation in those yes, though. That's pregnant yes. I love it.
What are you reading? You remember?
I don't remember what I was reading.
Some really like old classic. Like I'm a very, very intellectual guy.
Except I was reading it upside down.
I was reading Moby Dick.
Right.
Dick. He wanted to show everybody.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, no, but that brotherhood carried through with everybody. And it is it's I don't know how to explain it. It's like real early on, we kind of just had this everybody had this sort of blood pact of like, oh, I guess we're gonna really be friends until we're dead. So that just sort of happened in a way, and anytime you're an actor, you sort of live this life of a gypsy, and you go from gig to gig, and everybody goes, oh my God, it's like it's like a dysfunctional family. But it's like, I've been doing this for almost 30 years now, and like, again, with Sons, it's like I don't know how to describe the sort of confluence of all this shit that sort of came together in terms of like where everybody was in their life and where everyone was going as a professional, where everybody was going as a human. And we all just kind of like just got mashed together, right? This way that you can't kind of like separate us completely, even though we're, off doing our own things now. It's there's this bubblegum effect of us all together.
Yeah, well said, right?
Yeah. I think we're getting close to time. So I just want to give a final opportunity for you guys to say something to the fans. Let us know something that you're working on or something that we should be following or looking for from you. Mark, we'll start with you.
Oh, thanks. It is weird not seeing the fans.
Of course.
I usually get out there at least a few times a year, to shows and stuff. And I started really like, I feel like I was like one of the first people to do that in connection with the show, because I was like the most bikerly or something. Cause all the first shows were biker
right
events. They weren't, the Comic-Con things that, now are so prevalent everywhere. But it just, and I do really somehow enjoy that experience, that, seeing people in that way. But I don't know. And as far as what's going on now, it's just all the, I mean, I've done a few movies and stuff, but hopefully do better, more.
Yes.
Thing, always
right.
looking for the good.
Hopefully we'll all be together soon. There we go.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Theo, what about you, sir?
There's a lot going on. I'm super fortunate, and like I said, we just road tripped out with the kids and the family, and we just a lot going on. We're out here about to start filming, and just wrapped up something else and got a couple of great things I'm really proud of coming out this year that I'm excited for people to see, and then, you know, just doing my best to be the best fucking person I can be in these tumultuous times, you know. So just trying to you know, not just uplift myself, but uplift as many people as I can, and you know, keep growing as a human. So yeah, you know the deal, man. Anybody can find out what you're doing. It's just the way it is in this social media world that we live in. So we have a bunch of stuff coming, and it's been, you know, a really interesting time. But like Boone said, you know, it's also even bigger than, you know, with the Comic Cons, it was just motorcycle shows in the beginning, but also, you know, it was when we all got to see each other and rehash and kind of get together. And like, you know, if I had questions about dogs or life, or, you know, I'm talking to Opie, and then Boone and I are talking about what's going on in his life, the baby, and what's coming up and where everybody's at. And, you know, Kim is, who knows what Kim's doing. It's always something fucking crazy. And he's talking about Cabernet and his love of Gordie Howe. And then, you know, this is so having those little things that we miss, and just having that human connection of being around people. But I know, listen, man, like we said, you know, I know it's hard to do that because there's so much, you know, negativity and so much stuff going on. And there's such, you know, really bad stuff happening, which we're all dealing with on the daily. But at the same time, you know, if we look at the positive of this, of us all just sitting still for a second and being introspective, I think that that's something that I'm excited for, and I've been kind of in a weird way enjoying.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I implore the fans to check out your backlog of Theory, your podcast, because I think
thank you so much.
Brilliant place to kind of just listen and feel. And I think that's fantastic. Kim, what about you?
I'm just grateful for today. I'm really, truly grateful for today. I haven't seen Ryan Hurst's face for a long time, and I miss him.
Me too.
Boone, I haven't seen his baby yet, and I can't wait to get back to LA. That baby's going to be one of the first things I see. Theo, I get to see, unfortunately, every week on our podcast now. I've already seen too much of him in the last month or two. But I mean this, for us guys to get together, it's for us, and it's for all the fans, and it's for you, Victor. And I'm just really fucking grateful for today. And we're all living through a very tough time right now. And my heart goes out for everyone who's having a hard time. And I love you, and stay strong. And there's going to be better days coming. And for the ones that can tune in today and see the four of us knuckleheads and share some laughs and know that we're just like them, that's really important to me. And I love humanity. And I think we're going to get through this all right. I really do.
Beautifully said, Kim. Really beautifully said.
Yeah, thanks, Boone.
I love that. Well, then, Ryan, to end it off with you, Writer's Delight wants to know, what specific music or artists are you listening to right now?
Oh, I listen to lots of weird stuff. I listen to mantras all the time.
That's not weird.
That's not weird. That's awesome.
Come on.
I mean, I'm listening to White Sun right now, who sings a lot of mantras and Kundalini music, and that's sort of my go-to right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, music is her first love, so she's really interested in that type of stuff. So glad she got to get that question out there.
S-O-N or S-U-N?
S-U-N.
S-U-N.
Oh yeah, we're about to look that all up right now.
I am.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us. We thoroughly appreciate it. All the fans that are watching, don't forget, if you're watching live now or later, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff, check out the paid exclusive experiences. The one-on-one private video chats are about to happen, but autographs, custom recorded messages, I think those are later. You can nab those at wizworldvirtual.com. I am Victor Daniels, the hardest working man in comics, saying thank you to everyone that's tuned in. Mark, Kim, Ryan, Theo, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Wizard World, for bringing us together. Till next time, y'all. We have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
Later.
Love you guys.